Hello, Mechwarriors, and welcome to the Mechbay, where we fix your mech and fix your game. What's going on, Mechwarriors? I'm your host, Josh. I've got my co-host, Loremaster Denim.
Howdy, howdy.
And Steve, the only man to recreate fire with only a stick, kerosene, and a heavy plasma rifle with me today.
I have made fire.
Yeah.
The tribe has spoken. Puts your little torch out.
Oh, man.
And we're the Mechbay Podcast, your number one source for all things casual to competitive tabletop Battletech. And today's episode is sponsored by Cadet Mark and Cadet Jeremiah Safford.
I'm pretty sure you said that wrong, Josh.
What? How?
When we got the notification via email, the cadet was Mark. He said Mark twice.
You know, I'm going to chalk that up to the Patreon email and not it being Mark.
But in case it is Mark, we appreciate you, Mark.
Here I was going to welcome them to the new Acid SRM loading facility. I hope their first day goes well with all of their fingers.
Well, that's what happened to the other Mark.
Oh.
Does that make him the Mark II?
Ooh.
The Mark IIC.
There you go.
Episode over.
All right, boys. Welcome back. It's been, I look at the clock, it's been less than a month, but it's been less than a month. Yeah.
It's been a busy month.
It's been a busy month. We've had a lot of stuff we're working on. We've also been going through core more again. So
Working on our core.
Yeah.
Oh, what a title name.
You can't get it out this early. Now I'm going to feel too much pressure, man. Well, I think first off, as always, we need to talk about some hobby news, some hobby progress, maybe some games played before we get into our main subject tonight of the game has changed, core equipment. So the other, I want to say 25% of the book that we didn't go over last time.
Yeah, I think this is the portion of the book that most people are interested in. Most people want to see what's changed, how it's changed, and what new toys we have to wreak havoc upon our enemies.
It's certainly the easiest one to touch on first, but there's other subjects that I want to really deep dive into. But this is definitely a good one to start with.
This is one that most people will learn as they play on the table, but because so much changed, we need to go over what has changed. The change log, some might say. Well, boys, shall we start off with some hobby news?
Yep.
All right. Well, I think everyone's going to be interested. The schedule for core. All right, this is from Bobby from Fortress Miniatures and Games. He says, the starter boxes are set for an August 12th release. The core rulebook is slated for the very end of September, and there is nothing technically locked down for the core box, though we are hearing end of September, early October.
I know for a fact that starter boxes are on shelves at certain stores, though.
Yep. So I think they got all those in earlier than he sent in that email.
Probably.
So according to these notes here, right, this is a little bit earlier than what we've been hearing from official channel and sources, but we also don't know if we were getting optimistic news or not. We're not sure, but I had heard previously that the core box was supposed to drop around Black Friday, which would be end of November. If it does hit shelves early October, that'd be pretty rad.
I also didn't realize it was going to be staggered because pre-pandemic, the core box and the starter box both came out at the same time as well.
Right. I'm a little surprised on that choice because we know from Gen Con that they have a lot of those. Well, I mean, I will say CGL did a decent job of having pallets and pallets of the stuff at Gen Con this year rather than some of the previous cons where they've had like 10 copies.
Oh yeah, they typically sell out before the show actually starts because they open up their store a little bit early and all the new stuff is just gone.
For Adepticon, Josh and I grabbed a couple of things when we went to Adepticon a couple years ago.
You had to.
Yeah. First day, if you're not going to the CGL booth, you're not getting stuff.
That's right.
But this year, it looks like they did a decent job, and I heard a lot of people get a lot of cool stuff. So there are core boxes, core rulebooks, and starter boxes out in the wild now, and we'll talk about someone who might have some of those in hobby progress when we get there.
Ooh.
I do like hearing this, where like starter boxes for August 12th release and then us getting them, like seeing them in shelves beforehand. Like that's the kind of scheduling news I like to see.
Yeah,
rather than the other way around. It's like, okay, they said it'd be out here. where is it?
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's nice that we were able to get our hands on a couple so we could talk about them for these, for our listeners prior to them hitting shelves, so they know whether or not they're worth getting.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to subject number 2. This is the big one that I've been seeing the CGL/Randall Bill's Instagram account be flooded with. And that's a LoreScape Terrain. This is the new hex base little plastic clicky terrain.
Yeah, it's a modular hex space. It's a modular hex space that's designed so that you can design your own maps or put them over existing CGL maps and build yourself effectively physical 3D terrain rather than having 3D printed terrain that is no longer modular, right?
So did the HeroScape copyright expire, or is this the same company?
I don't know, but this looks very similar to HeroScape if you're familiar with that game, which had clickable, stackable.
It looks very, very much identical to it.
Yeah. So are we excited for LoreScape? Are we interested in LoreScape Terrain?
I like my maps with the Thunderhead stuff. I'm not going to get a whole new set even for modular stuff. I'm too invested in the other stuff right now.
I am not a fan of 3D effects on my terrain. Like I much prefer just throwing down 100 different paper maps rather than assembling and trying to make whatever 3D one.
For pickup games, I totally get that, and I agree. I like to pull out. I like to have a stack of options for a pickup game. For a campaign game, I want it to look as pretty as possible. So it's just two different aspects of that.
Yeah, I've also found that having 3D terrain makes getting new people much easier because they go, "Ooh, what's that? I see hills. Something's on fire." Right?
Yep.
That really catches the eye.
If it's a different concept, like it's a different. It's just 3 different ways of doing it. Because if you're just going there to play, you want to have the most options possible, and you're not going to carry around a small semi-truck full of terrain for all of your maps. You want to carry around a stack of paper maps.
Now, all of that said, I think that the LoreScape Terrain will be popular because I know when I got started, I would have loved something like this. I'd considered seriously getting, we just said it though, the old HeroScape stuff. Yeah, I was going to say HeroQuest, but the best part of HeroQuest is getting confused with HeroScape.
I know a lot of people who have HeroScape just because of BattleTech. So I think it's going to be popular. I think it's going to do well. It just doesn't do anything that I need it to for me.
With where I am presently, I already have a bunch of 3D terrain, right? And depending on what it comes out price point wise, maybe I'll eventually get it for campaign games.
I think the big issue that we see is, okay, there's 3D, like what you have, Denim, which is the Thunderhead, which has 3D terrain that's in scale with mechs, but also 3D like trees and other effects like rocks, whatnot.
And it's designed around the published maps.
Yeah.
So I have my published maps. I have terrain already made exactly for that map, which is not what the LoreScape is for.
No, and the LoreScape is like you could stack several of these and wouldn't be in scale with a mech.
Right.
Well, what is interesting is if you look at the new images in the core book, the LoreScape tiles are just about in scale with those images, what they say the levels are with the mechs. So that's interesting.
So overall for a product, I'm happy for the people that like this and want this. I'm not part of that demographic of terrain products, I should say, accessories.
Yeah, the problem is I might end up doing this because it would allow me to get rid of some of my other boxes of physical terrain because 3D printed terrain takes up so much space.
I mean,
it does.
You're just going the other way and getting a whole bunch of other 3D terrain, Steve.
But if I could put all my discs, or all my hexes rather, in one tote and do all the maps versus having 7 totes for 7 maps, ultimately save space.
Yeah. No. I think that's the thought. I mean, Randall said that it took him like 20 minutes the first time he set up a table essentially with it. And then he definitely expected it to take less time, like 10 minutes the next going forward.
Sure.
So
we'll see what the availability is, what the cost is, and we'll see if we get it.
Yeah.
Any other news?
Well, now we're going to talk about this.
I was going to say, I'm happy to review a set if somebody were to send me one. I will give it a very thorough review.
Well, now we're going to talk about the next big news, which is the starter box. And all 3 of us have one. And Who do we have to thank for that? Bobby from Fortress Miniatures and Games hooked
Thank
us
you,
up.
Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby sent us 3 of them. I don't want to say we were at the top of the line, but he knew that we'd be wanting some to talk about. So yeah, so we all got to open these up and got to look through them, review them. I think, Denim, you've put them through the paces.
Oh, I have. Yeah. I got pages of notes on this.
I bet you do. All right. So initial impression, everyone. There's a Conteo and a Hammerhead in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the best part of the box.
Yeah, for sure.
Hands down.
I think everyone that saw the Conteo was kind of like, the Conteo looks different from the art, and it's 100% the head scale is just been modified to like get full detail on like the cockpit windows and stuff. Like, once I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's what it is. The pose in the art is a lot more like downward facing, so it doesn't get the big head dome.
Yeah.
So
Perspective.
it's perspective. Hammerhead looks exactly the same as the resin one, but more detailed.
Yeah, slightly different pose. Slightly.
Yeah.
I'm not thrilled that, I mean, this is like the third Hammerhead that's been floating around. I don't need this many.
What?
Well, we had the premium one for a while,
Yep.
Yeah.
right?
Which I have several of. And then we have the one. So yeah, this is the third one.
Yeah,
So
we
we
just
had
don't-
2 out there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, we didn't need another.
Oh, I think all of us
Hammerhead.
needed another Hammerhead.
Well, then you can go get it in either of those other locations. We don't need a third one in a box. I mean, here's the problem. And we're going to talk about this when we talk about the core box. I have so many Timberwolves. I
So
don't
many.
need Timberwolves in every box. And now we've got Rakshasas and Timberwolf Mark IIIs. I don't need more Timberwolves. Give
You
me
don't-
other mechs.
If you don't want Mad Cats and Mad Cat accessories, don't play BattleTech, folks.
I would love a force pack that had all the different Timberwolves. That I would love. Because then if I want a Timberwolf, here's the box that has all the Timberwolves and the Rakshasa. So yeah.
we
that'd be
were
good.
at, and I'll talk about this in games played. We finished up. We had a local campaign gay, right, to finish up the campaign we were working on. Paul, you guys know Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Paul brought every single iteration of every single Mad Cat that they have put out. He had the original Clan Invasion one. He had he even had the Grinder Box one. He had
Nice.
the Wolf Dragoons one. He had the Alpha Strike box. He had the original TC Premium. He had the new Premium that they just put out from Gen Con. He had the Rakshasa and then the new one from the core box as well. And we looked at them all and they were like different, but pretty close to the same. Oh, he also had the Iron Man Metals A that came out. So he had like all of them. It was interesting to look at and see all the little variations between the different models. So there are a lot of them out there, folks.
All right. Thank you, Steve. All right. So now on to, that's the initial impression. Hammerhead, Conteo, check.
Worth buying the box for.
Worth buying the box for. Let's go a step down. Overall impression of the products, like papers, everything in the box. I'd say overall everything was great looking. Like the colors, nothing seemed to clash too well. Or clash poorly, I should say. My big thought on thing that jumped out was the map was a little dark, and things kind of it looked too dark to play on almost.
It was very dark, especially the heavy woods. Like, they should have been dark green. They're almost black.
It's like we have grasslands, which is I'd say neutralish green. This is dark green grass, and then woods are darker green, and it's like okay,
is it a night map?
It 100% seems to be a night map. Yes.
I liked the punch out tokens. We got a lot of smoke and stuff in there. Like I was not expecting that in a starter box.
Yeah. 14 smoke tokens, light on one side, heavy smoke on the other side.
So you're going to need that to play with BSPs and some
6
other
objective
things.
tokens that also came in there.
So overall, like I like that.
Yeah, it's a nice addition.
The half sheets, I liked them. They look good. Like they weren't just regular sheet cut in half. I kind of, if you're going to do a starter box, make the starter sheet look good. And then they've got like different sheets for the other things, like Rakshasa, the Pack Hunter, Hammerhead 2, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I liked everything before getting into like textually things. Denim, what did you think?
Very much like Gothic. All those parts look good. As far as what I thought about the box set itself, how deep do you want me to go? Like super light, or like just basic overview, or actual give you some of my examples of what I found?
Give me okay, so how did this play if you were to be a new person?
All right, so here's what happened. My wife plays BattleTech. She has never read the rules.
Oh, so she's 90% of BattleTech players.
Yeah, exactly.
Signing her up for MRC today.
There are a lot of players who have wives or girlfriends who they want to get introduced to this. I asked her to please read through this rule book, because it's not like she knows that there's books and books and books, and BattleTech goes as deep as you want to go. I said, please read this. I will buy you a Disney gift card. And so she did. And I have 2 pages of notes of what she gave me as far as what she found issues with. All
right. I know of one issue that popped out to me, and then someone else saw it on the Discord.
Which she found.
Yeah.
It's a big problem, actually.
So let's go with like the top 3 or 5 issues. And I like where this would be someone new getting in, playing with their friend, and jumping into core. Like, is this, and then we're going to like, are these critical? Like, this is not the same game, or is this just probably a design choice or an not overview, but
I hope one of these is a typo.
Yeah.
But I do believe that some of these are pretty game breaking.
Yeah. And let's start with that first one. Initiative in the starter box set says
in mission number 1, first mission, it says winner of initiative goes first. And she looked at me as like, we haven't been playing it like this. Is this really how it's supposed to be played? Or we've been doing this wrong? And I'm like, I really hope that that's a bug that they fix. But even if not, now a lot of people who are getting into BattleTech will forever be, oh, I know that the initiative winner goes first because I read it somewhere. I remember reading it somewhere. They may not remember where they read it, but they read it. And now it is in the back of their mind forever.
Oh, man, I win initiative all the time. I've got a 60% initiative win rate. I've just been looking at the chart the wrong way.
But it does quite a few things. Like it starts referring to TN. It never defines TN. It talks about a target number like early on, and then it starts referring to it as TN, just assuming that you're going to make that leap all by yourself. It never says target number or TN. Like it never defines it. Things like that. There's actually quite a number of missing definitions. For example, end phase. It refers to end phase in scoring, never talks about end phase. Never defines it. It's not in the list. It goes initiative phase, movement phase, ranged attack phase, back to initiative phase. I think end phase is a pretty important phase in BattleTech. A lot of things happen in there.
Well, they're not worrying about heat or ammo in this, so
Sure. But then don't refer to something happening in end phase if you do not define what end phase is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was copy pasted from somewhere else.
Yep, and then
it wasn't
down, and then
it wasn't defined. The layout is just horrible.
I saw the layout and I was like, I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt that the layout was.
There's too many things like you've got a diagram talking about something that's in the example, but it is not just on the next page, but it's on the flip side of that page. So if you want to look and see what the diagram is talking about, you actually have to flip the page back and forth several times instead of just being able to glance back and forth. Any diagrams should be on the same page as the example. Like move that stuff around. So some of the sections, like the Gator section, starts at the very bottom right-hand corner of a page. So that's where it says Gator. But then it's got like most of a sentence, and everything else it starts on the flip side of it. So if you're looking for Gator and you're skimming through the book, you're not going to look in the lower right-hand corner or something. You're looking at like chapters or things. Made it very difficult when she went to go back and say, well, what was Gator? Let me go find that. She's like, I know I saw it in this book. I don't know where it is. She said it seems like it was written by a very young person is what her comment on the layout was.
I don't know whether to be insulted about that or not.
Did you write it?
No. I'm just like, am I a young person?
No, younger than you.
Okay. Oh, okay.
A very young person. You're a young person. A very young person. We're talking like 18 to 24.
Free intern level.
Yeah. Okay.
Young person.
Yeah. Because like she's in maintenance. She knows how to read manuals.
She's an intelligent person.
She knows how to follow directions. and there was a lot of issues that she was just very, very frustrated about. Very frustrated.
So
but yeah, I could go on, but that's
I know you could.
That's I have 2 pages.
That's your top 5 critical things. So for the existing battle, or Steve, do you have anything to add to that?
I don't think so. I mean, Denim has put it through its paces, and we had a conversation about a lot of the issues, and I don't think there's anything that a veteran BattleTech player will not pick up on. I mean, you're going to see inconsistencies, but even for veterans, I know you mentioned that for new people is going to be a problem because you get them off on the wrong foot. I think for a lot of veterans too, they're going to look at this and go, wait, did this change for core? Is this one of the core changes that I'm not aware of? Because it's coming out early before we get the core rulebook. So that may cause a little bit of confusion as well.
There's too many things that it's going to teach you, and I'll go with that when we go to the games played, where you will then have to unlearn that when you actually start playing BattleTech. And I don't think a starter box should ever teach you something the wrong way, and with the assumption that when you get the advanced rules that you will not build upon the things that you've learned, but have to unlearn and do something different and the way that it's been taught to you.
This is why, even with the beginner box, right? The fact that they didn't teach heat, the fact they didn't track ammo, like I get it, you're trying to get people into the action.
Yeah. But heat and ammo you're adding on to. Like that's something that you're not overwriting a rule that you learned. You're just adding on to it. Whereas it's going to teach people the wrong way. It's going to teach people not to think about that stuff, right? You're not going to pay attention to what you're firing and everything else. I don't love that method of teaching, but it's neither here nor there.
All right. So for the existing BattleTech player, this is like a 9 out of 10 box, right?
Yeah. If you want a
hammerhead,
if you want a map with no hills, which is still, I mean, there's still good looking maps, and a Contio and a hammerhead. Yeah. I mean, pick it up. Yes. 100%.
If you were a brand new player, and this is your first episode of the Mechbay, and you're wondering if you should get in, is this a recommended starter box, or will it get you most of the way?
Yeah. It's if you're going to get it, just know that you're going to have to play it quite a bit and talk to people. Say a popular Discord about BattleTech. Go ask questions. You're going to have questions, and you're going to want experienced people to help you answer them. If you just go into this cold and it's a group of friends who have all never played BattleTech, you're going to come away with some very big misconceptions about the game.
Okay. Well, Denim, I expect that we will see your full 2 pages review of the starter box eventually.
Yeah, I'll type that up. Again, this is not Gothic levels. Like, I'm not going to go complain on Reddit.
This is like a 6.5 out of 10. That's what I get from what you're saying.
Yeah, it's 5 to 6 out of 10 for sure.
Okay.
I still want the Contio, so
yeah, worth it for the Contio.
All right. Well, I think our last bit of news is we've got updated premium miniatures from Monster Fight Club, aka the models we made weren't great, and they were
either stop calling them premium.
Yeah, they weren't premium anymore. So now they've gone back and they've remade them. They're redone. I think it says on the box.
They have a whole
attempt number 2.
Yeah.
So I got to hold the new Mad Cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got to look at that in pretty good detail the other day, and it looks really nice.
Good.
There aren't no chittering, no layer lines, none of that type of stuff.
So maybe it is now premium.
It's got a lot of legs. It's got a lot of arms, right? You can now actually pick which variant you want to build.
It's got
really nice. The SRM 6 pods for the A look really good. They don't look like the little dinky ones on the old TC that are really, really narrow. It's got a little bit of beef to them. They look really nice. I don't need another Timberwolf.
I need all the Timberwolf A's. I need way more Timberwolf A's. I use them a lot.
For $15, you can get a hold of one.
Are they available now?
Yourself?
I was going to say, listeners, should I edit out all of Steve's I don't need another Timberwolf? I need another Timberwolf? I think so. I think so.
Cut out all the don'ts.
Yeah. I saw the Black Knight premium miniature reimagined, and I'm almost tempted to get one, guys. Like, the fact that we got 3 different right arms, we got no PPC arm, we got large laser arm, and then we got ER-PPC arm. I was like, I kind of like that. I kind of like having options to make any Black Knight that I want.
I do like options. I really do.
Options are good. All right, well, that's it for core news. A lot of stuff happening, folks. Too much stuff. All right, let's move to some hobby progress. Well, boys, I only wrote down one thing for hobby progress. You know what that is? It's the god dang Southern Assault 6 packet for Classic Battletech 2026, November 9th.
We put a lot of time.
Are we doing that again?
Josh did a lot of writing, and there were a lot of discussion, a lot of back and forth on what we thought the best thing to do was for this year. I can say I'm pretty excited to see how a lot of it works out, and I think it's going to be an event like no one has ever seen before.
I will say I'm almost mad that Core came out, because then all the changes and thoughts we had, like, we were going to allow Protomex this year, folks.
Yeah, that's right. We reset a bunch of stuff because we're going to be one of the first, if not the first, classic tournament that's running Core.
Yeah. Whether we like it or not, we're running Core.
I like it.
Now, I did have a few folks ask, what happens if I don't get Core? I don't know.
This tournament is all about Core. Like, attendance is not mandatory. We would love for you to show up. The rules haven't changed so much that you'll be completely lost. Listen to our podcast to find out what the changes are, and you'll know the main differences of how your mech will react to certain situations. But this tournament is for people who are excited about Core and want to see a tournament in using the Core rule set. So that's,
and I'll tell you,
the answer.
Even if you can't get your hand on the physical book, I would almost certainly guarantee that by the time I say I'd almost certainly guarantee, but I don't want to say that, but yeah, I would hope that the PDF would be available when the Core rulebook drops.
That would be hopeful. Yeah.
If it's not, then this is a total warfare. Like, we're just going to say 2025 packet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, list submission change and everything else. Yeah. So we'll make do if it's not out by then. But I mean, if they're saying that end of September, the Core rulebook is supposed to drop, I'm sure the PDF will be available on CGL's website. So yeah, that's all of my hobby progress has been put into the SAP 6. So the Assault packet. I mean, I will say I'm disappointed I can't play in it. I thought about throwing in my badge and gun. I was like, ooh, no, I need to play Southern Assault Classic Core. No, I need it, Steve. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's an audio only
silently
format.
Shrugging there on the audio only podcast.
I'm without words. I don't know what you want me to tell you. We got to run our tournament.
Straps me into the torso mounted cockpit. You can't eject from this.
Right.
Never could. All right, that's my hobby progress. Steve, what have you been up to?
I was very fortunate because buying is hobby progress, and I hedged a couple of bets. I spoke with a few people that I knew that were going to Gen Con, and I said, hey, if you're there, and when you're there, if you see core boxes or physical rule books or even starter boxes, and you have a couple of minutes, buy one for me. And the problem is I told this to like 2 or 3 people, expecting maybe one. Because again, I was expecting that maybe they'd sell out.
Sell out so
maybe
fast.
I'm like, all right, cool. I'll have a couple of fish in the water. We'll see who grabs what. Well, they didn't sell out. And I now have a couple core boxes, rule books, and starter boxes. So that's acquisitions are hobby progress. So thank you all of those folks who went to Gen Con and managed to grab me something. I very much appreciate your dedication and your help. Now, I did paint some stuff, but it wasn't for Battletech. I did finish painting some blackout terrain, and I learned an awful lot using AK's Streaking Grime, which is it's a pretty neat product. It's I think it's an oil-based product. You got to use white spirit on it. But what's frustrating is I started with some of the smaller buildings, and I worked my way up to the bigger buildings. And by the time I finished all my buildings, the bigger ones look I think, pretty cool. They look kind of like it's been raining and there's grime kind of trickling down the building. Then I go back and look at the first ones I did, and they look like trash. So you can see the education in the results. So I think it looks kind of cool, but I may have to go back and repaint some of the smaller buildings so they'll look less splotchy. But that's been most of my hobby progress.
Just battle damage them. You'll never know.
Yeah,
I could get a sponge and chip the concrete. It's a good idea. Dan, what about you?
I too was fortunate enough to have a contact who was at Gen Con, and I got myself a core box, a core rule book, and the starter box as well. Just one, though, not one copy, not multiples like Steve. My hobby progress was reading the entirety of the core book cover to cover, including adding all the little tabs so I can do quick reference when I'm doing a tournament TO and stuff like that. It is completely searchable. And my wife and I gave this starter box a very thorough going over. So that was several hours of hobby progress right there. Yeah. She likes Contio.
It's good mech.
I bet she would.
Yeah.
She seems bloodthirsty.
She's a melee mech person for sure. Like her other mech is an Axeman.
Dangerous.
I'm glad she enjoyed it and had fun.
I did not say she enjoyed it, but I'm very glad that she played with me and went over the starter box with me and expressed to me her opinions and ideas about it. She enjoyed playing, but not reading the rule book.
That's all you could hope for some days.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to some games played. Guys, I ain't got no games played. Sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry.
All right.
I got COVID, guys, and I didn't want to go to the game store and give everyone else COVID.
What?
I literally came back from the Atomic Empire tournament to COVID.
Civil responsibility, not, spreading the plague.
Yeah.
When you say you came back from Atomic, did you get it at Atomic or did you get it?
No,
Okay,
I got it as soon as I got
that's
back.
That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to hear that everyone got COVID. I want to hear that you did not get it at Atomic.
Yeah. So technically, I did play 3 games of a tournament, which we will discuss in a separate episode because we ain't got time for that right now.
More pressing matters.
So, Steve, what kind of games did you get in?
I had the opportunity to finish up the final game of a contract for our local mercenaries campaign that I've been running. We went over to my buddy Gary's place and we set up 4 tables in the basement, and everybody piled into the basement there. So we had about 12 to 15 people in this basement huddled around 4 different tables. And the mission was the players were trying to load their dropship with all the spoils that they had earned as they had looted and stolen everything on this contract. And I just sent waves and waves of my own men until they left. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. They discovered that the Magistry of Canopus that had originally hired them had double-crossed them. And that now there were Canopan mechs on the field as well, reinforcing the Free Worlds League units, which is very funny because when I was drafting the lore for this contract, only one person, Luke, goes, "Steve, aren't the Canopans in a treaty with the Andurians? What is going on this planet? Why are they hiring us to raid their planets?" I said, "You mind your business." But he was the only one that picked up on it. And then at the very end, there was a big reveal and he was like, "I knew it." And I'm like, "Yes, you did." So good for him. It was fun, but no one else picked up on it, which is fun. So they had a good time. I took a lot of scalps, which was great. I made the rules very clear that you could bring anything in your stable that you wanted, but there was no holding the field. There was no salvaging it later. If it hit the dirt and couldn't walk onto the dropship, is leaving, right? The dropship is leaving with or without you. And we put a lot of names up on the wall of heroes. So it was a good game.
Good. Yeah. I'm excited to hear about that. I heard about leading up to that for quite a while. I was very interested to hear how it all played out.
Yeah.
Glad people had fun.
People had a good time, but it also ends the contract. And now as a group, we can all discuss the contract is over. Do we want to reset using Draconis Reach rules versus hinterland stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do we want to shift into core? How do we want to proceed with, the local campaign? So nice to put a pin in that and then kind of reset once these books and products come out.
Yeah, my monthly campaign also came to an end for the season, and we are definitely switching over to core and taking more stuff from Draconis Reach. So we're having a bunch of like little type like Solaris and some holiday themed missions in the interim. We won't start up the new season until probably December or January.
No last battle,
we did. It was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. There was a nuke and everything. They are definitely restarting because nobody survived.
Yeah, I bet.
I wasn't that brutal, but
I was. But it was brutal. It was a unexpected ending. There was betrayal. There was treachery, and at the end, people actually stood up and clapped and cheered. So nobody felt bad. Everyone's like, this is a great ending. I'm ready to start over. Not a single person is like, oh, but I was just getting into this one. Like, we've been going on this campaign for 4 years now. They're
4, if not more. Yeah.
Well, this particular
this
season, season. No, I've been doing this for 7 years.
Yeah.
This campaign was 4 years long. So we are ready to start over fresh.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Denim, I know you briefly mentioned it, but your other game for games played.
So the game I played with Caitlin, she very quickly picked the Contio because it had claws. She's like, oh yeah, melee for the win. And so they gave me the Hammerhead. A little bit of beginning stuff here. Hammerhead in the first mission. The first mission is definitely designed to just get people used to rolling the dice. Very much like the first mission in Gothic. It is not fair. It is not balanced. Do not go in there expecting first mission to be balanced. That starts to come over, later. But it's still rough because of how this starter box introduces some pretty advanced equipment, sort of, partially.
Yeah.
There's still no heat. Yeah. There's still, like stealth armor is mentioned, but it's not used. Pulse weapons are explained. Streak weapons are introduced on admission 2. Hardened armor is introduced, but since there's no piloting skill checks, you don't get.
There's no effect. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no negative effect to it, except for having your mech a little bit slower, which did come in on mission 1. So first mission, she says, okay, claws, how do I use those? And I'm like, you don't on first mission. Like it's just not in there. And that bothered me because in mission 2, they do introduce claws, but there's still no piloting. So they tell you just make a regular attack. So you use the claws in the shooting phase with your gunnery skill. So they're already teaching people, oh, look, claws are an attack you do in the shooting phase and you do it with your gunnery skill. And people are going to remember that, and they have to unlearn that later. They have to then be like, oh, there's a whole nother phase for melee attacks. You can't like shoot anything on your arms if you've got claws to use it. But Contio doesn't have anything in its arms anyway.
I was about to say, yeah.
It didn't matter. But then it's also based on piloting skill, and people can kick you at the same time, and you can fall over. But the whole how claws work, something they're going to have to unlearn and relearn, and I don't like that at all. I did not like how that was introduced.
I mean, I will interrupt your game story here. Would you rather them build this is starter box rules, where like this plays differently from BattleTech, but this is condensed BattleTech for getting someone into the concepts, not the rules, but the concepts?
I would honestly prefer that. I love the fact that they picked more advanced mechs. Love that. Pulse lasers, great. Streak weapons, great. Maybe don't pick a mech that has melee weapons and stealth armor if you're not going to use heat or proper rules for melee. Just don't use those. Yeah, I'd love to see the Contio put it in a different box set. It was a poor choice for a starter set because of that. Like, introduce more advanced rules, but use mechs that you don't have to unlearn rules that you can build on instead of relearn something else. Like I thought it was a poor choice.
So this should have been like a booster set instead of a starter set.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Even if the Contio and Hammerhead were in a different set that was kind of like, okay, so you've done the starter set, let's add melee and heat into this. Like, here's an add-on to this thing. So it's a middle step in between the starter box and the core set. Let's add a couple more things. That would have been great too, because again, you're building on not teaching and then having to relearn something in an entirely different way.
Back to your game. Sorry about that.
This part's going to be quick.
Yeah.
Turn 1, my hammerhead saw some heavy woods in the middle. I know I couldn't quite reach there, but he goes 6-8, so I was able to move 7 up the board, get that plus TMM, plus 3 TMM. Can't quite reach the heavy woods. The other option would have been to go into light woods halfway up, would have still given me the same TMM, whatever. She's in the Contio. It goes 7-11. She just walks forward 7, also gets a 3, gets into short range. The hammerhead in the first mission does not have anything special like hardened armor. It does not get the -2 for pulse. It does not have a streak SRM-6. It's just a regular SRM-6. It has 3 weapons with a potential of 29 if it hits with everything, and I roll a 11 or 12 on the cluster hit. I could do 29 points of damage. Contio has 9 weapons with a potential of 47 damage, and because of the no hardened armor, it has more armor. So it's faster, has more armor, has a lot more damage. Both of our 2 hits were 8. She hit with a lot more. I lost an arm and a lot of torso armor. This game lasted 2 turns. Second turn, she walks 7, I run 8. There was no way I was getting away from her. She just came up to me and again fired everything, and I lost 2 torsos and all my weapons were gone. So yeah, it's got to happen. The Contio will win 9.5 out of 10 times.
That's rough, buddy.
Again, if you're not anticipating the first mission to be a balanced thing, if it's just, okay, well, we did that, let's go on to the next missions. We know how the game works. But if you're not, because it never says, hey, this is an unbalanced thing. It says, yeah, set this up, have some fun. Somebody is always going to be not just defeated, but destroyed. Destroyed. So, yay for her picking the Contio. That was good luck on her end.
Well, better her than you, truthfully.
Yeah. It is. That is true. So I will see if she wants to set up a more difficult mission with more special things, especially since she knows that she can use the claws. But as I said, she's played BattleTech before. She knows how they're supposed to work. She does not like the way that they're forcing her to do it in this box set. Gotcha.
Well, I appreciate you and her running that box through its paces.
Like I said, she gets a Disney gift card out of this. This was not something that I could get her to do for free.
Alrighty. Well, let's take a quick break before we get into how the game has changed for weapons and equipment.
Woohoo.
You're now listening to HPG 102.3 Real Mechwarrior FM, where we play nothing but the hottest energy, ballistic, and missile music. This ain't your pre-center's HPG station. Next up, Reactor Overload by Imagine Grand Dragons.
All right, and we are back. Woo! Core equipment. I love it. I needed it. A lot of it was playtest, but a lot of it wasn't.
Yeah. A surprising amount of this stuff was not in the playtest, which some of the things that were not in playtest I really thought should have been. And I do want to point out that, I know that I'm pretty harsh on the starter box, and it's because I care. Overall, Core is amazing. I just want everyone to understand that I am very pro Core. The Core rulebook, which I've read through, fantastic. One of the greatest things that Catalyst has ever put out. The Core box is also great. Has a couple issues, but nothing major. So yeah, I'm very, very pro Core. I want to be honest in my review about the starter box. That's all.
It's all we ever asked of you, Denim. All right, so initial thoughts on all the equipment. Are we in general happy? Are there things that we don't like? I mean, of course, there's things that we don't love, but is there anything that, like I've seen a few ramblings on the internets of like, oh, core, no, my group's going to play with Total Warfare. And
that's fine. You guys go right ahead. Just I like. There's so many things, especially if we're starting with like equipment and weapons and stuff. Like all of it to me has been very positive changes, very essential things. Like the little things, like flamers doing heat and damage. I know we'll touch on that. Absolutely, that should be a standard rule. That doesn't break the game in any way, like at all. But that's how everyone played it. So that's now the core way of playing it. And most of the changes are like that. And it's great. It's just great.
Yeah, I think the answer to the people that are like, oh, we're just going to play Total Warfare. I was like, now, are you going to play Total Warfare rules or are you going to play Total Warfare equipment? Because you take a look at this core equipment and it's like, ooh, no, you can't play with all the fun stuff. I'm sorry.
And how many of the rules are you playing incorrectly in Total Warfare that are now standard in core?
Yeah.
Like, are you even playing the rules you think you're playing?
Yeah. Well, do we want to start with what's not in core, which used to be in BattleMech Manual?
I think that's a good place to start because people want to know, well, what did they take away? What did they take away from me that I desperately need? Should we start with a caveat or do the caveat at the end about what's happening with the stuff that got taken away?
I think we should start with that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty obvious once I looked at it what was happening.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Removed from core are the following things: flails, flechette ammo, fragmentation ammo, full head ejection systems, industrial weapons, all of them, mechanical jump boosters, underwater maneuvering units.
UMUs.
Yeah.
So, Josh, does that mean that, oh no, they've taken away these forever and I'll never ever see them again? They're gone?
No, it's just none of these were super relevant to 99% of battles, and a few of those were only effective against other units, the, flechette ammo and fragmentation ammo. Full head ejection systems is more of a campaign ops, like construction ejection style system. Same with UMUs and mechanical jump boosters. Like that's advanced equipment that isn't going to be played with normally.
Josh, have you ever used mechanical jump boosters?
No, I think there was one unit I looked at it on and I was like, I don't need it. I can just put a jump jet.
I've never done it for a tournament, but I absolutely have for pickup games. They are bad.
Yeah.
They are bad. So what's going to happen to all these?
Well, I'm guessing they're going to go into their respective rule books of like, oh, there'll probably be a mini book going over construction mechs that have like all the construction mech rules will be revised and redone to be not as painful to play with.
Exactly. That just means that these are not part of the core BattleTech experience. Not that they're going away, but they will be inserted into supplementary materials so that you will have access to them. You can include them in your games. It's just not part of the core system. So say you're doing a tournament or teaching someone how to play the game and they want to know what the core stuff is. This just isn't part of the core. They're not taking it away forever. They're just putting it where it belongs. They're organizing it better.
Yeah. Like we didn't need to touch on flechette ammo and fragmentation ammo and balance that around what they do to infantry when that's not,
Yeah. Wait for the infantry book to come out.
Exactly. So, Steve, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything's basically been covered. The only thing that I guess I was surprised to see flechette ammo removed just because trees still exist. And normally flechette ammo is used to remove trees. It's like the number one reason I've ever taken it. But, I mean, oh no, I lost
Heavy
one.
Plasma works real well against that too.
Well, sure. I mean, they give you a replacement, but the utility of flechette ammo, I mean, again, I didn't take it very often, so I'm not that upset by it, right? I mean, it really is kind of a niche ammo type, unless you're fighting in a jungle, that you're really not going to make a lot of use of. So am I like heartbroken? No, I'm just slightly surprised. Although this does really wreak havoc on the Aquagladius because you lose the flail and UMUs. So no Aquagladii for any of you until the next book comes out.
Until that book comes out. The Aquagladia book. Like, that's it.
That's it. The underwater book has one mech in it.
I mean,
No, there's a couple in there.
if you were gonna do an underwater book, you just do it all together and be like, this is the underwater combat or advanced environments combat.
Advanced environmental stuff. So that's probably where they'd put like magma and things like that. Things that are way more complicated. That's where it should go. Is the advanced environmental book, whatever that may be, in whatever form. Don't quote us on that title. We don't have insider information. It's all speculation. I believe the 5th.
All right. Now, we could go into what's been added to core just as a big chunk. Like, okay, they took out just a little bit, but they added in these things. Do we want to do that now? And then go into like all the changes for things that we already knew and loved? Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah, that sounds like a plan because like a lot of it's self-explanatory, and then we'll touch on the things that need it.
Yeah. All right. What we got in core, which we did not have in Battle Mech Manual, or technically Total Warfare, really, we got advanced point defense systems.
Woohoo!
Yeah, right. Anyone's ever played with those?
Exactly 0 times.
Yeah, right. We got a bunch of new armors. New, I say, but like TAC Ops armors that are now in core.
Yes, and they've all been revamped and cleaned up.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a little bit when we were doing the playtest stuff, but some of these armors, right, because they've been revamped, it's nice because now they kind of do their own thing. They're not just worse versions of other armors, right? So I like these new armors.
There's no overlap anymore, which is great.
Yeah. They were like, hey, what if each armor was its own armor?
Yeah.
What? Novel concept, Josh.
Yeah.
How dare you?
All right. We also got artillery cannons. Like,
Bull Shark is now canon. Well, I mean, I'd want it to be. It has a better possibility of being canon.
Yeah. We got Arrow 4 rules in core.
Oh boy.
Yeah. This is.
I mean, they had sort of in BMM, but this is just better.
We also have Blue Shield PFD, aka the PPC shield.
Yeah. Yeah, and I saw this first of all in Solaris, but it's kind of cool. I'm glad they're bringing it in.
Yeah. Command cockpits, command console cockpits, cockpit command consoles. Why?
C3, right?
Yeah,
C3.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
My brain wants like, oh, there's 3 C's. This is what C3 means. No. Hey, that's in there, and the rules have been changed, so it can be in there. All right, we got Hardgel, Hardgel 2, and Hardgel 3.
Yay!
Return of Hardgel. Phantom Menace Hardgel. I mean, I like it. Steve's just nodding. I love Steve.
I mean, I've never run Hardgel in Classic. It's fine.
Once you know the rules, it's kind of cool.
I've ran it once. I ran it wrong against Denim. But you're good.
Yeah, you did. And I will never forget that.
Yeah, I won't either. We got bombast lasers are in here.
Okay. The reason why they weren't in other books very much is because they were bad.
Yeah.
Like really bad. They not only added them, they revamped them. Like that's one that's actually been changed and for the better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, you say that, but the only person that I knew that really enjoyed the old bombast lasers was Jason Hansa. So I don't know if he likes the new bombast lasers.
No. He likes blazers. Bombast lasers are a different thing.
Oh, I know, but he liked bombast too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He was all about
all the bad weapons.
I think he liked the older ones better because they were not good. I think that's what he likes is a broken system. And not like broken as an overpowered, just
not
bad.
Good. Yeah.
That sounds like Jason.
Not good. All right. We got a whole bunch of special ammunitions. We're not going to go into them here. We'll go into them down there later.
Yay.
All right. We got physical weapons. We got shields and we got spikes. Like I said, we talked about this. They were in the playtest, but now they're in here. Like they made it in. We've got plasma weapons. The 2 new ones that everyone's talking about. We got light plasma rifles. We got heavy plasma rifles. Do you want to do a little heat or a lot of heat?
I like the heavy plasma. I need to play with the light plasma, but I like the heavy plasma for sure.
Well, there's nothing with it right now. We're all waiting on whatever next TRO plasma is. So
that's true. So, but I do custom mechs in some of my games. So, oh no, I guess I can't because I don't even have the construction rules for this stuff yet.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We've got new stealth systems. We've got the Chameleon Light Polarization Shield and the Null Signature System Void. So Well, I guess null sig and then void signature are two different things technically.
I was not expecting that many stealth systems to be added in. Like, I just wasn't.
I mean, I guess this lets you play with the old like experimental rules. Like, hey, your faction came out with a new stealth thingy that they could make like one of, and it made that company go broke. But
Liao's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, in the newest Shrapnel, the Falconer, the Fed Suds one has chameleon light polarization shield, and I was like,
true.
I literally was like, why are you making this? This is dumb. No one can use this. And then boom, here you go. You can use this. So,
yep. And I think a lot of Shrapnel's going to have a lot of those mechs before we have a TRO. There's going to be a lot of new variants that are going to be using these, in my opinion, that will be showing up there.
Oh yeah. We got
that'd be good. I haven't used any of these in any of my other games anyway. So to have new models that have this stuff, I mean, that'd be kind of fun.
It's almost like that's the only way we get to play with the new toys, is if there are toys with the new things.
Yep.
So only 3 more. We got Radical Heat Sinks. They weren't hard, but
I like Radical Heat Sinks. They're fun.
Yeah, they are fun. They're in here. Super Cooled Mimer.
Never used it.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is that really a thing?
Strikes me as odd for being core, but maybe we'll get a bunch of new mechs with it. I don't know.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. I am.
I know it's on some of the Risk stuff that came out, like the April Fools. So
yes,
it makes sense that, hey, here's some not terrible Fortress Republic things that might be disseminated. But and then the last one, the big one that I know a lot of people were waiting for, is quad turrets, or turret dash quad, I should say.
Yeah, because what about other turrets?
Yeah, I had this question. I was like, do all turrets just function as this? I don't know. It kind of makes weird to forget.
I mean, I until we get a new tech manual where we get construction rules, maybe turrets can only go on quads. I don't know, because we don't have that book yet.
Yeah. So that's all the things added, like brand new, that were probably mainly in TAC Ops and they got rolled into core.
Most of this is TAC Ops or Solaris, or like the weird books.
Yeah.
Some of the other books, but it wasn't in any like major rule books. I mean, I know TAC Ops was, but nothing core. But it is now. It is now definitely part of the core.
I mean, if you had asked me like 3 years ago, what do you think are the chances that this will be in the new rule book? I would be like, no, that's too advanced.
Yeah, I was not expecting hard gel or most of these stealth systems. I was not, like quad turrets. I would have assumed that the turrets would have come in here. Sure. But yeah, most of this stuff, I'd be like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Shields. I thought shields were way too complicated, and they are easier now. They have been. They have definitely been revamped. So I'm super happy.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to talk about the first big change for all equipment?
Yeah. This is important.
This is one of the best things that they could have done, because I'm a really big advocate for standardized language.
Yes.
It is so important just to make sure everyone's on the same page.
Yeah. Well, this is make sure it's on the one page and everything links to that page.
Yeah.
So this is for terminology. The first and biggest one is we have the activated terminology used. And really what this says is it can be turned on and off. And
right. And they only have to call it activated because and a page number, so that this is what activated means. I love it. Like, you don't have to explain every single time. And these things, any of these standardized phrases are just going to save space in the rulebook too. So it's a big deal. It's important.
I'd say the biggest, like, obvious one to help someone learn how it works is things like, oh, I don't know, stealth armor, like the old way. You just activated it. And now that keyword has been given to multiple things.
Yep.
And it really is just a keyword, like on the equipment when you're going down. It's like, is this active? Can this be activated? It'll say activated. Page, blah. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I love it. Steve's nodding his head.
Very, very excitedly, yes. But all of these,
bouncing up and down in his chair. He's so excited about this.
No, it's true. I mean, you just keep it Simple, right? Where can I find a definition for this thing? Here it is. Boom. What does that mean? Boom. There it is. You got it. It's right there, right?
It has worked for Magic the Gathering cards for decades now.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely. I mean, another perfect example, right? Talking about defining things that happen within the rules for a couple different pieces of technology, right? Escalating failure.
Right.
Right.
Write an extra paragraph every single time a piece of equipment uses this process, or we can name the process and define that name and then just refer to the name. Us programmers do it at everything. Like it's super important to do that in programming.
So Denim,
yeah,
what is escalating failure?
Well, anybody who's ever used Mask, when you have the first time I use this, I need to roll a 3 or higher. The second time I need to roll a 5 or higher, and it just keeps getting harder and harder. Well, that's an escalating failure rule. And not just Mask uses it, but several other things use that. So let's just define it and say that this uses the escalating failure rule. Look at that, 3 words instead of a paragraph or 2.
You know what? I did not know what the old Mask like failure cascade numbers was until it says it's been made to match the consciousness rolls on top of your pilot sheet. And I was like, oh my gosh, you mean every sheet has the escalating failure roll?
It's right there. It's printed right there on the sheet.
Oh, so good. Yeah, I don't know how I made it this long.
This seems like something that should have been thought out in the first place, right? I mean, there's so many other games that have keywords that have functioned very well.
Those games came out after BattleTech was created as well.
I think the difference is like book made for an internet age where you search things and like Control F and like, okay, let me find this, quick link it. It's like versus the appendix.
Speaking of, I know that's not on the list, but index in the back of the book. Let's put that in there.
I think like we can just say it every episode, Denim. We can say it every episode.
I'm excited. It matters. It matters. Thank you.
And this one, I didn't realize this until I got to some equipment. We have new terminology for linked, and that is linking weapons to other equipment and systems. Like, I don't know, machine gun arrays. So if you want to link all your machine guns to an array, you link them, and it explains how to link them. Once they're linked, they're linked.
Yeah. They explain it once, and then they just say, this can be linked.
Yeah. Amazing. Flawless. 10 out of 10. No notes.
Yeah.
All of that I love. They're like,
yeah.
Do we want to move on to some just basic equipment now and what changed?
Yeah, because some of it is such good changes, and a lot of this was in fact play tested, and I think this just is a testament to how important play testing is.
Yeah. A lot of this you may have already heard us say, but now it's the law.
But now it's official. Yeah.
Well, we're going to go alphabetical because it's the only way to do things nowadays. Changes to equipment. We're going to start off with A is for autocannons.
Yay.
Now
they're worth it now.
They were always worth it, Denim. But now, little Mechwarriors, the first critical hit applied to any kind of autocannon does not disable the autocannon.
Because they're sturdy something. They're heavy duty. I don't know what they are. They're old robust tech, so they can robust. They can take a lot more damage than your flimsy lasers. They get their lenses knocked out of whack.
So you just mark it, like for an AC2, it's only one slot. You just mark it, and then the next time it's actually disabled.
The AC2 is an outlier because it only has one slot, so that slot has to be hit twice. All the rest of them, it still counts as a critical, like you cross a line through it, that critical slot cannot be hit again, but any other critical hit to that autocannon destroys it. So yeah.
I'm just like, we could have just made AC2s impossible to destroy. Like the mech's gone supernova, the reactor blew off, that autocannon is still pristine.
Like, just make the whole mech out of that material.
Yeah, right? Well, next one, ultra autocannons. No longer jam.
I'm bringing it Hunchback 2C, my next game.
The Legacy 2 UX10s.
I have double jammed a Hunchback 2C on turn 1 multiple times.
If you
4 1s done.
If you can, it will.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a nice change because I always felt that, UX were not, I mean, they just weren't that great, right?
No, they weren't. They sounded cool.
They were more risk than reward.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, not to mention that it's a cluster weapon for some strange reason.
Yeah, it's a cluster weapon rolled on the 2. So even if you hit on 3s, that second shot's not hitting unless you roll at least an 8.
Yeah. That felt bad.
Yeah, it did.
At least you can't jam anymore, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, that makes it, that really, really does help a lot.
In Super Core in another 40 years, they'll change it to the cluster 2 table to be 2 shots on a 7. Like that's when it'll happen. Don't worry.
That'll be amazing.
All right. And the last one for autocannons is the rack on jamming it occurs in the movement phase instead of the end phase. It does not prevent attacks or actions, and the rounds no longer become stuck in the chamber on a jam.
Yes.
And this is important for me in my hammer hands. You can now use caseless ammo for rotary autocannons.
Right. But if a caseless ammo rolls a double 1, it's not jammed. The feed broke, so you cannot unjam that. Like you can unjam a jammed rack, you cannot unjam a broken caseless ammo feed.
Yep. Yeah. It was almost perfect. I understood why. God said no.
Yeah. For all those people with rack 2s that need 90 rounds to begin with.
Yeah. So overall, I'm happy. They cooked with autocannons.
Yeah, these changes are, I think, needed. I think they were needed.
Yeah, I mean, autocannons were unloved. They needed some help, but they needed help in a way that it didn't invalidate any record sheets, which was super important and not that easy. So good job, like really good job.
Speaking of cooking, next one, flamers. The enhanced flamer rule is now standard operating procedure for mechs flamers.
Hooray. I mean, that's how I played it anyway. So
yep. But now it does damage and it does heat. It's still not great, but at least it does both now.
It makes it better.
All right. Next one. Gauss rifles. The heavy and improved heavy flavor. The PSR required due to firing any of these weapons is deleted. The Hollander can run and sling rounds downrange.
I don't know if I love that. That's okay.
It was difficult to remember what the role was when I needed to fire, because I had to remember what my weight class was, which is one of the very few instances where a rule is affected by your weight class, not your actual tonnage.
It was clunky.
It was clunky.
The rule was clunky.
I guess my point is I would have preferred a rework of still having the drawback of the improved heavy, of having to make some other. I mean, I guess in short, right, I would have liked to have seen that drawback play some form of role, either a rewrite or some other minor inconvenience, because now there's very little reason not to take those, right? They're just straight up better. And I feel like, at least in my local group, I was seeing a lot of improved heavy Gauss rifles all the time.
Really?
And now I'm sure I will.
On what?
Fafnirs and all sorts of crazy stuff.
I mean, the Fafnir makes sense because it's like, okay, there's 3 mechs designed around heavy Gauss rifles, and it's like the Hollander and the Fafnir are the 2 literal poster boys when they invented the tech. Like you read Field Manual Lear, and it's like, oh, we have new tech. Here's the new mech. And it's Fafnir and Hollander. I was like, okay, I see what they did. These are mechs built to use them.
Right. But we have a couple people in our local group that just love big, heavy weapons like that. And now that there is less of a hiccup in firing them, I'm afraid we're going to see them more.
Well,
and it's like, okay, great.
I feel like we'll get into a big tactics episode now. Like, now that this is good, how do you fight this? My initial thought, Steve, is now you got some AP ammos that, go through armor real nice and easy. And you just need to crit out that heavy Gauss rifle. It still explodes. Still destroys things. But also, you've got some anti-ballistic armors. I know. You're shaking your head in the audio format.
I just don't know. I mean, I still don't think that because now
it's not oppressive. I don't think it's oppressive because the Fafnir was already getting a negative to the modifier roll, which means it was only falling down like 10% of the time per shot.
But it was something.
Yeah,
that's my point. To go from something to nothing, I would have preferred to gone from something to something else. That's it. That's my only gripe.
Okay. I'm on the opposite. I'm glad that went away, because it's not that I didn't ever forget to do it. It's just, here is a roll that is not based on any of the other rolls. Like, I'm either if I'm getting shot, I'm taking a PSR, but here's a non-modified PSR that I'm taking. Like, I'm gonna fail the PSR that has modifiers attached to it, not that one. So, all right. Moving on. Next one, the Bombast laser, like we mentioned, has been completely rewritten. Would you like an adjustable laser setting laser?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a laser with a built-in capacitor, like the PPC capacitor.
Yeah.
But you can fire it charged like every turn. It's just harder to hit if you do that. But if you charge it for a turn, then you don't have the plus TM modifier to hit.
But did you
so
notice,
if you fire it every other turn, then there's no modifiers. But if you charge it up and fire it in the same turn, then there are modifiers.
Now, did you see that you can come onto the field with it already charged?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
So you've got your max damage one with no targeting number penalties.
I mean, you could do that with PPC capacitors now too, which is great. The Regent with the three giant PPCs with the capacitors is amazing.
Next one, machine gun array. I missed this, boys. I missed this on the first read through. Add +2 to the cluster hits table roll when rolling on the machine gun array.
Yep.
Guys.
Good. It's good.
The years of unlinking, because it was more chances to hit, are gone. Like, now I roll once to hit, and then I get more bonus to the amount that hits.
There's a lot of pluses to a machine gun array.
Now, before it was just they all hit the same location, but it's a cluster roll.
I mean, that's huge.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
huge.
yeah.
How many hit? They all hit there. But now you get even more hitting that cluster table. I mean, on that cluster table.
It's like NARC for machine guns.
Yeah, NARC for machine guns, but they all hit the same location. Yeah. It's huge. All right. Now but again, that's not old. I mean, that's not new. That's an old rule.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Let's get some missiles out. The ATM change for cluster size going from 5 to 6, it's in effect. How do we feel about this one? I know it was like the math works, but the game's built around 5 damage groupings. Now this one's 6.
It's the outlier, and that makes it weird.
Yeah.
I think that's honestly a step back for all the good reasons that they had for it, and for all the things that it tweaks a little bit. Having so many things, like everything else is grouped in groups of 5 except 4, and now you're adding an except 4, which is that's the opposite of core in my brain.
Yeah, I don't
big exception.
I understand because they're ATM 3s and you HE ammo, and now it's like, okay, I can't, like, the lore reason of like there's not a spare missile. I'm like, well, I mean, just,
and it makes it definitely changes. Like, some armors are now much better or a little bit worse against them too.
Yeah.
So it definitely changes how it interacts with different armors.
This one could have been left alone. Am I going to complain about it outside of this one instance on the podcast? Probably not. Maybe when I play an ATM mech fighting a Ferrolam mech or a impact resistant mech, like that's the next time you'll hear me say it.
Yep.
So
it's just weird. It's something I've got to remember.
It's
and that's
just weird.
That's it.
Out of all the other rules where it's like this seems like a natural betterness, this one seems like a side weirdness.
Yeah.
Next one, something I never would have thought of.
I use catapults with extended range, extended LRMs, and this is a big deal. Because the minimum range is so huge. It's so huge.
I remember. So extended range LRMs no longer have cluster hits tables results if in minimum range, and they can now use Artemis systems. I did not remember that you had to roll less on the cluster hit table. I know hot loaded LRMs did, Did not
And Thunderbolts.
And Thunderbolts. I knew those.
I hope you
intimately.
remember that.
I did. That was not fun. So yeah, extended LRMs. I guess you might see these more.
Maybe. I have never run an extended LRM mech, so I don't know if I'm going to start.
Shooting at a target from across the map with your LRMs is fun. It's like, oh yeah, you're 20 hexes away. You're in my medium range. Okay.
Jeez. Yeah. No, thank you.
I mean, it's fun when it happens.
I think it goes up to 38 hexes for the long range.
It was like that, and the high velocity AC are like competing for the super range games.
Yeah.
They're fun. All right, another missile. MRMs. This one's the denim one.
Dude, I liked them before.
Roll us
I
through
love them now.
through the MRM change, Captain.
Okay, so it used to be MRMs were just inherently inaccurate.
+1.
And so what they did with that was they added a +1 anytime you fire it. So it's just automatically like that. You could get the Apollo MRM to remove that +1, but in doing so, it gave it a -1 on the cluster. So you're just spreading out the missiles more. You're hitting more often, but you're hitting with fewer missiles when you do. I actually hated Apollo on any of my MRM mechs, and I would hunt for mechs that had MRMs and not Apollo. Now, there is no +1 penalty. Like, it's standard as if it had Apollo on it to begin with. So no +1 to hit, but you do have the -1 cluster hit, like, inherently. It's just how it works. If you got Apollo on it, it took away that -1 cluster hit. So now they're just missiles, which is great because you fire a lot of them. So no modifier on the TN, no modifier on the cluster. That's great. Or you can now, with Apollo, fire your missiles in an area effect burst that targets a hex and not a unit.
Yeah, saturation mode. All right.
Yep.
I think we can take a minute to walk through saturation mode if you want to.
Yeah, now we're allowed to. Yeah. So what you do with saturation mode is, well, first of all, you're firing at a hex, not a unit. So every unit in that hex takes the damage of it. So if you're firing at that Dasher P, you ignore their TM, you ignore like the fact they're in heavy woods, you don't care. You're just shooting at the hex. And what you do is you roll to hit. If you hit the hex, you then roll on the cluster table. Whatever that roll ends up being, like say you rolled it an 18, you then divide that by 3. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. Every unit in that hex takes 6 points of damage in clusters of 5. So a group of 5 and a group of 1. And you roll on the front back table.
Yeah. There's no side tables for area of effect. It's just
So this is going to make MRMs way better at hunting down battle armor or those really, really fast units that like to jump into woods and hide, things like that. Your damage is lowered. But
your damage is lowered, but if you're fighting at low armored things or battle armor, because you outrange most battle armor, like the range is like 18 on an MRM, and you're not firing at the unit, so they don't get the +3 TMM for battle armor. They don't get that because you're shooting at the hex.
Yeah,
so MRMs way easier to hit. You can definitely whittle them down. MRMs are now, with Apollo, are now very anti-battle armor, very anti-light mechs who have light armor. The problem is that out of like the 4,300 different variants of mechs, only 13 mechs have MRMs with Apollo. 2 of those are super heavies, super heavy tripods.
And that was one of the first things I looked up is, man, Apollo got really good. I wonder what mechs that I haven't been using that I could start using, and there really weren't that many. So I'm really hopeful that we're going to see, TRO with a lot more of this stuff, because this is
my favorite cool. Catapult with 2 MRM-30s does not have Apollo. Yeah, very sad. So yeah, I hope to see a new TRO with more MRM Apollo mechs. I'm excited about that. I think there's an Akuma with one. There are mechs that I use that have them, so I'm excited, and I will be using them more. But there are very few of them.
All right. Well, that one was for Denim. This one is for me.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to be this guy. I was pushed into this role. Thunderbolt missiles. The rule for having damage if an attack was made within minimum range is deleted. And they can now use special munitions listed. Narc, semi-guided, Thunder. Guys, this would have helped me so much at the tournament against Jason Hansa when he was in minimum range for 3 of my Thunderbolt 20s. And I was like, I'm shooting you. You have hardened armor. You were in my minimum range by 1. My 20.
If you hit, 5 points of damage?
My 20 points of damage goes to 10 points of damage, which goes to 5 points of damage. I was like, this is not worth it. It's not worth it. I can just shoot the medium laser and do 2.5.
The semi-guided, though, man, with tag, that's just gross.
Oppressive. Yeah.
Well, they changed. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I like the thunder because
minefields are awesome. Like putting out your own minefields, fantastic.
Out your own minefield, and that Thunderhawk just shooting thunderbolts, shooting thunderbolts. Let's confuse the players.
What's that? Your special tactic?
Yeah, they didn't deserve.
Let's confuse the player.
I'm going to use my thunder to thunder, and we're doing thunders on this hex. What? Where? What? Does psychic damage. All right, here's a big one. Now we're probably going to slow it down for this one. Arrow 4 attacks. Because Arrow 4 is in this rule book. We got Arrow 4 rules. Makes sense. We reworked the attacks terminology to be close and distant rather than direct and indirect.
Much better.
Yes.
Much better explanation.
So that's like this hits this turn and this hits next turn.
Correct.
So it cannot scatter outside the launcher's firing arc, which that was always weird. And close attacks scatter margin of failure divided by 2, just like artillery cannons. So we've standardized, we've simplified, and I read through them rules multiple times, and it's like easier. Like,
yes,
Arrow 4 itself didn't change like the application, but the rules to get there did.
It's just cleaner again.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy with anything that's made cleaner and simpler.
Steve, are you going to be letting some Arrow 4 in your pickup game tables now?
Probably not. I mean, I'm going to be honest. It rubs me the wrong way, and I need to spend more time, especially with these rules, because I saw that they had changed, but I didn't have a very good grasp on how Arrow 4 worked before. So I'm like, okay, well, these are different. I don't care. I'm not going to take these. Moving on, right? So it's okay. But
that's what I'm happy about, though, is that a lot of the rules in here are making things simpler, which it translates to it won't slow the game down as much when people do start taking them, which makes me more inclined to allow more things because it's not going to make the games that much longer anymore. Where it used to be, oh, Arrow 4, this game's going to take a while for no real reason. People are going to get bored.
Yeah. So, I mean,
now I do have my longbow that has 2 Arrow 4 launchers. I'm going to bring that.
Yep. I mean, I think naturally more people will use more things the easier they are to use.
Yep.
Right. So that is a net benefit. It's going to take me a while to get there, though. I'm not going to jump into this, be like, yeah, Arrow 4, let's go. Like, nah, not for me.
It's okay, Steve. I'm just happy that like some of those mechs that have it on them, like a Viking, like, okay, I can take it like to a table. Like, do I have to take the best, most oppressive kind of Arrow 4? No, but like if I want to, like it's there.
I might run that Irby with the Arrow 4.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see?
I might do that. Mostly just to be a jerk and put that thing in the back and have it lob stuff at people.
That's what it's there for.
It creates an objective, a real objective for people to go hunt down.
Yep.
Defend the Irby.
All right. We got one more for the missile equipment, and that's the missile equipment master itself, the Narc missile beacon, including iNarc. The homing pod effect has been rewritten to be both stronger and to merge the Narc and iNarc effect. I don't know if I like that.
I love that. I love that so much.
Essentially, Narc got what iNarc gave, and then iNarc just really gets the special ammo bonuses.
Yep.
So,
look, a narc is a narc is a narc. I never thought it should have needed iNarc to get the -1 to hit. Like, it should be attracting missiles. It definitely should. And more of them should hit. Like, that's just what a narc should have done. It's already a specialized piece of equipment. It's already high tech. iNarc should give extra abilities, not make the thing it does like better at that.
Yeah, the iNarc is 5 tons, and the regular Narc 3 tons. So I don't know I mean, it's got a better range profile.
Add better toys to the Iron Arc to make it better. Like give it more toys, because I use that on the Raven, and that's my little Swiss Army knife, and I've had so much fun with that. Just having 3 different ammo types, super fun. But yeah, an arc should. I approve of that change.
Yeah, it always struck me as a little bit odd that Narc didn't do the same things that Einarch did. I knew that Einarch got better, or rather different, ammos effectively. But yeah, like you mentioned, Adam, the ability just to attract more missiles is something that I thought Narc did inherently. So
yeah,
I
think this is a normal change.
I guess what I forget is special ammos. So I guess that's what the I stands for nowadays.
Which I think is still valuable, right?
Is it perfect? No, but kind of like the improved heavy Gauss losing, some stuff to merge it with the heavy Gauss for you, Steve. It's like, I'll take this. A rising tide lifts all boats. The Einarch was up there, but it really wasn't. Now with the Narc rules being overall better, I think everything's better. So
I think it still leaves Einarch its role. I mean, it doesn't invalidate Einarch.
No.
It just makes Narc better.
And Narc needed to be maybe better? I don't know.
It did.
Okay,
A regular Narc was just dumb.
I only ever used Einarch.
Now I'm not so unhappy when I use a mech that isn't Einarch.
All right. And one thing that got attached to Einarch, which is one of its pods, got changed. The Einarch Nemesis pod, it lost its +1 target number penalty. I mean, I never knew why it needed that. Nemesis pods weren't ever really used. It was mainly just like semi-guided and the special missiles. It attracted them. Now it attracts other things. Not crazily. We'll touch on that on a special Comstar edition only.
Yeah, because we could talk about that for a while.
Yeah.
I am excited about this, so I definitely am looking forward to that episode.
Yeah. Yeah, the Einarch people, they might be throwing in a ton of Nemesis for the first time in like 25 years.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. We talked about all those missiles. Well, let's talk some special ammunitions, because we just talked about autocans, then we talked about missile systems, and both of those use munitions. So we got to talk about special munitions. Let's get the big cat out the bag, controversial one. Precision ammunition. Ammo multiplier increased from 0.5 to 0.6.
Oh my God, the math works now.
The math works.
It just works. It just works.
But now we get more precision.
More AC-20.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an improvement, Denim. I don't think that's the right way to go.
Well,
because those precision AC-20s are
best.
You know what they do? They take out those light, fast mechs that are running around. Kabam!
Well,
like it's better than an airstrike.
10s, right? My point is that the 20 is the one that nets a whole other round. So that worries me.
All that means, because if you're fighting against something heavy, you're not getting a bonus anyway. Like if you go stand in heavy woods, you get a +2 that the precision ammo does nothing against,
right?
At all.
Yeah.
So it's just you get one extra shot against that Goshawk jumping around.
Yeah, but I guess my point is with the AC-20, you don't need more than one to hit.
If you're playing a campaign, you'd like to have 3 of them. It could be very important. From what I've played so far, I'm super happy with this change. The math is easier. I have not seen any big issues with AC-20s being suddenly super overpowered with it.
Yeah. So precision itself, like you said, it happened. It did not change. The AP ammo, other side of that, it did change. The roles have been standardized to, you're no longer like, this ammo is this the role.
Right. And it's like nobody took AP ammo because it had a +1 to hit already. The modifiers weren't like, ooh, now I need to roll a 12 to get a crit. It was too high. It didn't give you the feel of, oh, I'm using something special here. I actually have a chance to crit you. It just wasn't. It wasn't good enough to spend the money and take the fewer rounds of ammo. It just wasn't worth it at all. And you almost never ever saw AP ammo being used on the field.
I think I used it one time, and I was really disappointed in how it played, truthfully.
Did you use the new one? Because
No.
okay.
I used the old AP ammo, and I was like, man, this kind of sucks.
I know I said 12. I meant 11. I'm just saying that because I know we're going to get emails about it. I meant 11.
Yeah. So new AP ammo, got rid of the +1 to shoot it, and essentially if you're an AC size 2, any of the AC size 2, it's a -3 to the roll. 5s and 4s, that level, it's -2. AC 10s and AC 20s and 8s. So if you're above that, it's -1 modifier. So you still need a 9, but now there's no difference between an AC 20 and AC 10. Which, did we need the change? Did we need that level of step? No. So after getting in the playtest, plinked by a Jaeger mech with some AC 5s with AP ammo and getting my leg all critted out, I was like, ooh, this was a tactic that people only dreamed about.
Yeah. By Roku Rokubi that has a light AC 5 and 2 tons of ammo, and that's it. 1 ton of precision, 1 ton of AP. And it's fantastic. It's actually a useful mech because of that.
Yeah. I think it's going to be real interesting to see how people balance out the AC ammos.
Yeah. I'm happy about it.
All right. Here's the big one. Acid missiles. Well,
acid missiles.
They were in TAC Ops.
They were, because I used to use them as prizes in my campaign. So I know how they work, but I never thought that I would see them in the core rulebook. I just didn't.
And they changed them. It wasn't just a 1-to-1 port over, which I'm kind of glad about.
Which is good. Yeah. Oh yeah, they did better.
Now,
love these. I think these are great. I'm so excited for acid missiles.
I mean, they weren't great before. So there was a big, was it cluster penalty of -2?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. Now it's still a -1. Yep. That's not terrible. Now they no longer do more damage against ferrofibrous and stuff, which that was every mech.
Right. Almost every mech has, it was anti-clan mechs because all the clan mechs had ferrofibrous.
Yeah.
None of them had standard armor ever.
All right. So what armors does acid missiles do better against now?
So they do 3 damage per missile against anything with ballistic reinforced, ferrolam, laser reflective, or reactive armor. So basically, any special armor is going to get eaten by the acid. And any other armor type or structure, it's going to do the standard 2 points of SRM damage, which for me, I'm pretty excited about because I feel like we finally have, a scissors to all the paper armors that were out there, right? We kind of have a counter to a lot of these special armors that are hanging out there now.
Yeah. Butterbee catapult with the acid rounds, it will just rip up anything with specialized armor.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I want to see who takes it at Southern Assault. I feel like this will be a hard choice on what do I take? Do I take a anti-new armor system or old reliable precision or something kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's you're going to end up paying a -1 on the cluster hit table if you just stock acid standard, but having this in your back pocket just in case you roll up on somebody with ferrolam, I feel good. Is well worth it, right?
All right, next missile system, ammo, I should say, semi-guided. Boys, I never put money on this one. Never thought semi-guided would change. I thought they'd just remove it. It's still there.
I also thought they'd remove it.
Yeah. I'm glad they didn't because it was kind of fun. I've been using it a lot the last year.
Well, there's a lot of mechs with tag, and you've got to have something for them to do.
And also, they were
not using Arrow 4.
The word on the street was it was being removed. That was the rumor in the back alleys. Steve, tell us about semi-guided in the new year core.
The new core rules for semi-guided read as follows, right? Semi-guided missiles can be fired and resolved as normal non-semi-guided missiles. So you're not locked in to firing them semi-guided. So you do have options. But if you do fire them non-guided, you're going to take a -1 on the cluster hits table.
Yes.
Right? Which is a little bit of a penalty, but it gives you an option just in case you don't have a tagger in position or something.
Yeah, your missiles aren't wasted.
If you do have a friendly unit that manages to tag a target, the missiles ignore the above modifier and also receive attack bonuses. So the precise bonuses depend on whether the attack is being made directly or via indirect fire. If you're firing semi-guided missiles directly, you ignore partial cover, right? Unless it's like water or being inside a building or something weird. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to ignore partial cover.
It's like MWO. You're firing straight up in the air. They're arcing over and they're coming down on top of whatever unit got tagged.
You get to reduce the target's terrain modifier by 2 to a minimum of 0. So that's going to ignore like woods and such, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you get +2 to the cluster hits table roll if it's applicable.
Right, because now you can use them on Thunder, which doesn't have a cluster roll.
Right. And that's all direct fire bonuses.
Yeah.
If you're indirect firing your semi-guided missiles, you ignore any terrain modifiers applied by the hex the target is in, and you ignore the following modifiers for indirect fire, which is spotter attacking, spotter line of sight, and spotter movement.
Right.
So basically, you get to ignore most of those things that kind of trip people up when trying to calculate the target number for using these things, which is kind of nice.
Well, it'll make your indirect fire, instead of 11s, it's closer to like 8s, which is a huge deal.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. They're semi-guided. They should be easier to
tagged. Yeah, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying that that's what they're good for.
First off, if Blake had let me take semi-guided thunder missiles to Brawl in the Bluegrass, I think this wouldn't exist in core. Because man, I was spotting and firing some regular Thunderbolt 20s. The last thing I needed to be was semi-guided. Oh my gosh. I'm very excited. Very excited. Just on there's a missile that ignores woods. Like they gave it a unique roll and then it's, side roll, which you've improved the spectrum of play. Beautiful. Great job. Round of applause. Now and
I don't think they're oppressive either.
I don't think these are oppressive. I think these are, depending on what you're doing, you will get a bonus, but you won't, not all the time will you need the bonus.
Yeah. You've got to hit with the tag unit first. Yeah. And although you can't, tag can't be jammed by anything that I know of. So it's just how good is the mech with the tag and how long can you keep that mech alive?
Yeah. And
that's your counter.
Yeah. If the opponent's still hard to hit, it's still going to be hard to tag. So it's not a guarantee. It's not like you're targeting the ground. These aren't area of effect MRMs.
Right.
Words never spoken before.
Oh, I'm so happy about them.
Speaking of weapons that target the ground, the next munition type we've got on our list is thunder missiles.
Oh my gosh.
I'm kind of excited for these actually, because I never really used them before. But now that they've got them tied into the BSP minefield stuff, I feel like it's going to be a lot more cohesive, and I'm excited for these.
I mean, putting minefields down has been a dream of mine since I read Battle of Tukid stuff.
And they're not hidden minefields, so it's not like you have to secretly mark the hex down. You just fire a minefield and put a token there. So okay, don't step here or risk reward. Like you can step here if you really want to, but maybe you don't want to. But it blocks the terrain out for both sides. Like no side is immune to the effects of the minefields. So and now that BSPs will target it, because in the mercenary box set they weren't, they were immune to minefields. They're not anymore, which is great. So get those assets blown up too, make them not be able to drive around.
So just to bring everybody up to speed for what we're talking about here, in case you haven't seen it yet, the game rules for thunder missiles are as follows. Thunder missiles can now only target hexes, right? And they apply the standard -4 immobile target modifier because you're shooting a hex, right? And any misses will scatter per artillery cannon rules, right? A minefield is deployed when the hex is shot or struck, and any launcher class of 10 to 15 deploys a light density minefield, while 20s are going to deploy mediums. Any launcher class under a 10, like an MML9 or an LRM5, you can't deploy the minefields, right? And then you can follow the minefield support rules for the details on the mines, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
So a Thunderbolt 20 does a medium minefield, correct?
No, a thunder missile, not a thunderbolt. A thunder missile.
You got me.
Does a medium density. So you can't have a thunder missile that's going to deploy a heavy minefield.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of a balancing factor. You can't just start dropping heavies all over the place, right? That'd be wild,
I mean, I can combine 2 Thunderbolt 20s to get to a heavy minefield, correct?
You can combine mediums to make a heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. There's a whole bullet point right there. A medium density field added to an existing field upgrades it by 4 damage clusters in 2 levels to a maximum of 6 damage clusters and heavy density.
Yeah. Yeah, that Thunderhawk with 3 Thunderbolt 20s just became like
area of denial. That's it.
Because it's minefields and not just an AE attack, they do get the -4 for attacking a hex, unlike the MRMs who are an AE attack, so they do not get the -4 for targeting a hex.
Yeah, that is
it's weird, but that's it's easier to hit to set a minefield than it is to do an AE attack on a hex.
They made it explicitly clear if you're doing targeting a hex, it's -4. If you're doing an area of effect attacked, it is not -4.
Correct.
But you ignore TMM and other stuff like that.
Oh,
right?
yeah. You ignore all kinds of things. It's totally worth it.
It's just, are you targeting the hex? Are you putting something into the ground? Or are you doing damage to the hex?
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, whew. Now,
I like them.
I love them. My Lyrans. This stocks went up, boys. Stocks went up. Tharkad. Street. Now, I need to state that no missile munition has a ammo multiplier. Like, they're just whatever amount of missiles come in that bin is how many the special ammo comes in.
Correct.
So I'm okay with that also.
Yeah. I mean, that makes some logical sense too, right? You just change the payload. You're
just
not
the warhead that's on the missile. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, the acid missiles, there is a penalty for shooting them at, intro tech armor, like minus cluster.
And they're more wobbly. So
wobbly.
All the fluid inside is sloshing around.
Yeah, it sloshes around. I think in the TAC Ops book, it actually said something about that as to why they had a cluster.
Really?
Yeah, a modifier to the cluster.
I was just being dumb.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Splish splash, taking an acid bath.
Woof.
So, yeah, there's no BV modifiers associated with any of these. Like, I want to say that.
Well, not yet. We don't know.
I think the intention is nothing in this has a BV modifier attached that needs to go to another place except C3, which we'll probably talk about on another episode.
Yeah, that's not in this
episode. So I am happy that all these look like they were either touched or thought of, and all these are on a level that is comparable to another ammo. Like, there is no longer, this one is just the best at everything. It's like, well, no, because yes, you can take AC 20 precision, or you could take semi-guided Thunderbolt 20. Like,
yeah.
I think the big thing about this book, right, between the ammos, the weapons, and even the armors when we get to that, introduces a lot more of like a rock, paper, scissors feel, which gives you some strategy in what you're picking rather than, like you said, one thing is just automatically the best. Always take this and all the other stuff becomes irrelevant because it's not worth it, right? Now you have some choice, you have some thought, and you can really kind of pick and choose what you think you might be going up against, which is, I think, pretty exciting, right? It changes the meta. It allows people to play new things that they might not have otherwise chosen. So I'm all for it.
Yeah. I'll say it now before we get to the end. I'm a little surprised Inferno didn't change in any way.
I don't think it needed to.
They were perfect as they were, Josh.
I think so. I think Streak 2 should have gotten Infernos back. Denham's like, I'm going to think on that. I
remember those days. Yeah. I don't know. I think they're fine just how they are right now.
I don't know. My Spartan with 2 Streak 2s and 2 bins of ammo was like, why do I exist?
I mean, one of my Shadowhawks is a Streak SRM2 in the head, and that's what I used to put Infernos in. Those were the days. It actually made that Streak 2 worth it.
Exactly. So, yeah, just saying. All right. Well, we've got like 2 things left on the equipment. Then we'll do some final thoughts. So, first, out of the special munitions, we're back to ammo equipment, but it's kind of where it is. It's not a ballistic weapon. It's not a missile weapon. Pods. We're talking the A pods, the B pods, and the M pods.
Okay, I'm happy they put them in here so that when we do tournament rules, say, any mech that has equipment not in the core rulebook isn't allowed, we can still bring the Loki Prime because it's got A pods.
So dumb.
Yay. I'm super happy that it's in there. Super happy.
That was a complete oversight the first time around.
And Denim, I have to object. It's a Hellbringer.
Hey, you were calling the Timberwolf a mad cat, so I don't want to hear about it.
That's only after Justin. I called him Timberwolf first. Back up the tape. Back up the tape.
Blah, blah, blah.
But yeah.
I object to your objection.
So
Overruled.
So the big one, the pods no longer cause internal explosions when they get hit because they're mounted on the outside.
Yeah, I don't remember them causing internal explosions to begin with. I know that A pods certainly didn't.
I think it might have been B pods.
Maybe. I don't know.
And they've been rewritten to affect infantry assets, like +2 to the hit roll if affected. And I was like, it
causes an immediate destruction check, even in the middle of the movement phase, or stuff like that. There's a lot of little changes, which are all good.
It affects a core rule because battlefield support infantry rules are in core, so you just need one rule book for these rules. Now, is that to say that APODs will never get a Total Warfare level entry again? No, it just means
that's going to be in the infantry book.
Yeah. You don't have to write everything here that applies to all the other books. It's like, no, you're just doing infantry and weapons that do more damage to infantry. You can have a little paragraph in the infantry book.
I know some people are like, well, they're just forcing us to buy another book. Now we have to buy the infantry book. First of all, you don't have to, only if you want to use infantry. And they already tried adding everything into a book. And it was the Total Warfare book. And it was too clunky. And I've been wanting them to separate those things into separate books for decades now. So it's like, yes, I want an infantry book. If I'm using infantry, I just grab that book. Yay. Like all my infantry questions are answered in that book. I don't have to go to 4 different places in Total Warfare.
Yeah. Next one. I did not know this. I probably said it when I was looking at the rules, but I never played with this and never tracked it. PPC capacitors, an attack roll of 2 with a capacitor charge PPC no longer burns out the system.
I did know that. I did know that happened. I didn't realize, I seem to miss that they took that out in the core rulebook. I'm happy to see that because I was very aware that burned it out.
Yeah.
2 is bad on so many things.
It is. And the thing is, when the capacitor can also explode when it gets shot, it's like, I felt like the 2 was kind of
it was just
an unnecessary slap in the face, right? Like, come on now, right? It's already risking additional explosions.
I'm paying for heat. I am paying for the equipment, slot, tonnage, everything.
Yeah,
I can't shoot it that turn while I'm charging.
And it's dangerous when it's charged.
Yeah. So the fact with PPC capacitors, now that you can walk on the field with them being charged and they don't short circuit when you roll a 2, capacitors, I think, got way cooler. And now it's just you got a real heavy hitter kind of sitting in the pocket if you need it. So
I know it's only a 2.7% chance, but that if you roll enough dice, that's gonna happen, and you fire PPCs a lot.
Just the way it is. All right. So that's all of our ammo and weapons grade equipment.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in this book.
A lot more core equipment. That's just our offensive shooting, ranged offensive equipment.
I know. I want to start talking about melee weapons. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff. We just don't have time. I mean, we just got to break this up. Otherwise, you're going to be listening to us for the next
6 hours.
Yeah,
easy.
Now, I will say I'm a little disappointed in this. I don't know if this was an oversight or if they were perfect as they weren't. Rocket launchers are still +1, guys.
Yeah, no, rocket launchers are dumbfire. They are very much the Robotech. You have this many rockets, you fire them all at once. It is just a cloud of missiles that are going everywhere. They definitely needed the +1 to hit.
They could have been -1 cluster. MRMs can get that. Then rocket launchers can be little.
You got to have the dumb primitive weepons, Josh.
Yeah,
something's got to be
nothing
bad.
else. The MRMs got rid of the +1 to hit. Rockets are even dumber than MRMs. Dumber as in
everybody got smarter except rocket launchers.
Technologically advanced. They needed the +1 to hit. They're light. They're cheap. Man, there's a commando that's got a bunch of rockets on it that I love taking. If it were easier to hit, it would be way too dangerous. I paint that sucker up like a claymore anyway. That side faces enemy. It unloads with all the rockets, and then it just punches things until somebody kills it. It's just how it goes. It's disposable.
Fine. So yeah, final thoughts on weapons and offensive equipment.
Yeah,
I'm quite happy. Quite happy.
On the whole, I have very few complaints other than the improved heavy Gauss rifles, but that's okay.
Yeah, and my complaint is the ATM cluster going from 5 to 6. Again, I know there's reasons for it. It just makes it an outlier.
Yeah, I just don't like it. It's like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just it's different.
Yeah, yuck. But like 99% of the stuff in here, I not just like, but I absolutely love.
Yeah, I think they cooked on this one. It looks real good. It feels good. The rationale behind things, seems to make sense, and it gives a lot more variety and flavor to weapons now, right? They're not just a bunch of stats. They're doing different stuff, and I think that's really important. So
now, is there an equipment we don't think they went far enough with?
No, I like it pretty much.
It all rolls back to the cluster 2 table being wrong.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of playing with these to really see where the meta is going to go with it. But I think it's at a good place.
I think so too.
I think the one thing I might have liked to have seen was maybe throw like the AC2 a bone. Give it something.
They did. They gave it more specialty ammos, and that ammo penalty I want to say is not as bad as it was. I think it was a -4 last time.
And you got to credit twice to take it out of the game.
And so we didn't touch on this because it's not technically an ammunition rule, but I needed to touch on it here is you can take all ammos in half ammo amount. Like that is a core rule. And I don't think we touched on it last time, but it's a thing this time because now we're talking about specialty ammo. So your regular AC-20 ammo, you can take half loaded to start.
Yep,
and
if you want to,
and then you can apply any modifiers to the specialty ammo. So I think that takes you down to if you're taking half load and you switch to precision, you get 1 AC-20 round.
Yeah, so with your rack 2, you get 45 rounds of ammo, or you can go caseless and bump it up to 90, or you could take a half load and bring it down to 22. So you have options.
I'll go half and then caseless it for double.
And then you only get 44. Weird, huh? You lose a round somehow.
Someone dropped it.
Yeah.
Rolled onto the couch.
Loss and prevention. Yeah, no, I will probably be taking more missile things at half load. I think that's where that one shines. I don't think for a lot of the autocannon ones, except like AC2 maybe, like
SRM2s half ammo all the time. Yeah, you don't need 50
machine guns.
rounds.
Essentially anything that's small, you're taking in a half load bond principle.
Especially streak SRM2s.
Oh my gosh.
Like there's no way I'm taking a full ammo load of that ever.
I still wish streak SRM2s. I know it's. Can we go back to the circle? Can we go all the way back around where it gets a special ammo type?
You know what? Sure, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. I want an SRM2 streak with acid. SRM2.
Too many missiles, like too many mechs have streak SRM2s, and then they have more bins because they were designed for special ammos, and I just want to use it for that.
Yeah, acid SRMs in my streak launcher would be cool. Yeah, I'm down with it.
Even just a special streak ammo that's only able to be used in streaks. Yeah. That'd be fun. That way you could kind of like not make it oppressive.
Yeah.
Flechette streak SRM ammo. Smoke streak.
What? Stop.
Thunder streak SRM.
Someone cut this man off. Turn his microphone off. He's getting out of control.
So what's the first mech you're loading up with special ammos and range equipment?
I will probably try the Roko Rakubi because I have half loaded, and I know Denham's talked very highly of it. That, or I kind of want to take a dervish with a bunch of acid.
Yeah, I was thinking of a Kintaro with a bunch of acid, but I also want to do a longbow with thunder rounds.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Come get me and walk through all of this.
I mean, I'm looking at my Viking right now. Technically, it's a Viking 2C, but I'm going to run as regular Viking. It's got essentially the same. It's like, that's a lot of LRMs. That's 220s and 215s. Or you take the Word of Blake one with 4 MML9s. It's like, yeah, I can throw a lot of ammos into that one.
There's a longbow with like 6 MMLs or something dumb.
A lot.
I love that one.
13 or 14C, aka the most oppressive longbow that makes you think, no, we need more AMS. And we'll get to that in another episode.
AMS on one of these things.
Yeah, Thunder LRMs in that, and then just a bunch of different SRM types. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. We do have minefield tokens in a token pack somewhere, correct?
Yes, we do.
Is it the mercenaries box?
I think it was the mercenary box. So everyone who put your tokens in some little thingy, go out and dig those out because you're going to need them.
Yeah,
to represent where your minefields land. So, well, folks, I think that's it for ranged offensive weapons and ammo.
If we missed anything, let us know.
Yeah. If you get to try these out on the battlefield, let us know how you like them and how you don't like them. You can contact us at the Mechbay podcast at gmail.com or find us on our Discord.